Yes, sir.
Your favorite car and your favorite airplane?
Well, my favorite car, I think we're being kicked out again.
No. Everybody scoot over. Keep going.
My favorite car is a 63 Corvette split window coupe. Just hard to beat, you know, what Bill Mitchell, and I think even Harley Earl had a little bit of a role in it, but mostly Bill Mitchell. And the one that is my favorite and what made it my favorite was that we had just finished a fairly, like, it wasn't the build I wanted to do on it. I did a build for a man, and the week after I finished it, he came back and said, if you give me some of the money back I paid you for the car, I'll give you the car, because he was going to prison. I said, you have a deal. So I got a 63 split window for free. Wow. And that's a pretty good deal. Airplane? I mean, the most beautiful airplane in the world is a Spitfire. That's the one. In fact, I've got my eye on one in England that surfaced fairly recently that hasn't been restored yet. It's an original Warbird too. You realize most of the Warbirds were never in war. In doing a lot of research on doing old airplanes, almost all of the wartime aircraft, the Mustangs, the Lightnings, the Spitfires, the Hurricanes that you see in museums were all built after the war, because almost everything in the war was destroyed. Probably only 1 in 50 survived. So to find an actual Warbird is pretty cool. So I've got my eye on one, but they're not exactly cheap. A propeller for a Spitfire is $100 grand.
Yeah, like 10 more minutes.
Well, you can fabricate it.
No, you can't fabricate it. No, a propeller is not something.
Fabricate anything.
You could, no, but it wouldn't be FAA.
Right.
That has to be FAA certified,
Gotcha.
and I'm sorry, the FAA is not going to certify me on a propeller.
Not hard.
Does that have a Merlin?
It did. Probably the most beautiful engine ever built. You know, just amazing. And of course, they were built by Rolls-Royce, taken over by Packard. Packard built most of them. I think even some of the ones that went back to England to go into the Spits and the Hurricanes.
There was a question by the guy.
Yeah.
How long have you booked up?
I'm going to give you a very sarcastic answer to that, but it really all depends on the attitude of the customer.
I've got a great attitude.
If a customer understands that it is what it is and we have to do what we have to do, then there's a real good chance the opening is right around the corner. If the customer doesn't understand it, I've got more than 2,000 people on a list, most of which don't understand anything, and I have to write them and say, I'm sorry, I'm probably not your builder. So really it depends on, look, some of it depends on the car, but mostly it depends on the customer. Yeah.
Thanks.
Anything else? Yes, sir.
You know, when you said that 63 split window, that reminds me, you all built that tail on that.
We did.
Tell me about that. And are you going to make those things available? Did you do all that in-house?
We did all that in-house. In fact, I got my patent on that last week.
All right, because that's cool.
We applied
Wow.
for that patent about 5 years ago, and it arrived last week.
Man,
so,
good for you.
Yes, we are building those, and the one piece that we lack that we've already had 2 tries at it and we're on the 3rd try is what's called the Big Ugly. The trim on the outside of a 63 Corvette will bring $6,000 to $10,000. And we are working with a company to produce. We've now got, out of the 12-piece set, we've got 10 pieces done. So we're right at the point of releasing those tops for public sale.
That'll be a lift up.
They're beautiful. Let me tell you, when that top goes on a car.
It wasn't real.
Yeah.
Well, it's real, but it's
I've had people, wait a second, the prototype I brought to a show, well, I bring that to many shows, I will get customers that will argue with me that that's original. I'm like, I built it, but if you want to tell me it's original, okay. But yeah, it looks good. It looks really good.
roughly what are they going to sell for?
The trim is going to, the trim and metal parts run about $3,000. The glass runs about $1,000, maybe a little less depending. The shell itself is $5,000, and then the fit work after that, fit and paint work. So you'll have 10 or 12 grand in one by time it is matched to your car with all the trim and everything on.
So the car comes in, then you all retrofit it on and match it and everything.
Say that again?
Say I want to buy one.
Yeah.
Can I buy it and put it on myself? Or
Oh, absolutely.
Or-
But they need to be fitted to the car. The original hardtops had a 1/2 inch gap all the way around them. These tops have a 1/16 inch gap. It takes a lot of work to get that 16th inch gap
So it'd be
perfect.
smart to bring the car in and have you guys install it.
That's what most, I mean, we've done, I've only agreed to do about 4 because people agreed to take them without trim. But we'll have the trim done here in another few weeks.
Everything's set up over the table.
Okay. All right. I'll tell you what, we're going to do one more question, then if anybody wants, we're just going to go over there and take pictures and do some signing and stuff. Any last questions?
I got a question for you.
Okay.
Just when you were out doing your test drives and getting on the vehicles and stuff, I mentioned to you before, I went to school there, so I recognized some of the roads.
Yeah.
The Norfolk cops okay with that, or did they come in and say, hey guys?
You know, Dan Short is not generally a friend of cops. They have been more than decent with us. They really have.
Yeah.
I only have one great cop story. It was about 3 years ago. One of the cameramen said, hey, I just need some inside shots of a car spinning, doing drifting and things like that. So I'm going to stay in the car, but I need the surroundings, you know, moving violently. So he sits in the passenger side of the car, and I'm out. I can't even remember what car I was in, but I come around a corner, both rear wheels just burning and sliding around the corner, and wouldn't you know, there's a cop giving someone a ticket on the inside of the corner as I come around. Cop just sort of looks at me and waves me over to him. I pull up and he goes, slow down. I mean, I'm thinking I'm getting a ticket because he's giving another ticket. He just says, slow down. I looked at the cameraman, I looked at him, and I said, we're not finished filming. He goes, get the hell out of here. And he did not. He was actually very decent. He kind of laughed. He understood what we were doing. So the police, don't get me wrong, I do not ever try and do anything on a crowded road. I don't put people's lives in danger, generally other than my own. And really, I try to be very respectful of the police. They've been very decent with us. So I have nothing, honest to God, I have nothing but good things to say about the Norfolk Police Department. They've been very, very good.
Thank you.
All right, folks, we're going to go. Show look, there were so many gorgeous cars out here, but when I got to the car and I had to pick best in show, I was looking at cars, I was looking at detail, I was looking at fit finish, but there was one other thing I was looking for that when I met this owner, I knew that I had met the best in show. So the best in show, in my opinion, isn't really going to a car, it's going to a combination of a man who built it and a vehicle that he built,
and spent a good portion of his life doing it. The car that he built, and I'm probably going to, in some way, I think he knows this, it's not fast, it's not sexy, it isn't sleek, but it is magnificent in every way that a piece of art that a car can possibly be. And that is to a young man named Bill who owns a 1926 Chevy number 267, best in show.
It was an honor just meeting you.
Oh, look, talk about an artist. What he's created, if you haven't had a chance to see it, look, a lot of people will put money into a Ferrari. They will put money into, the big exotic sexy cars. He took a car, a pre-war Chevrolet, a 1926, and put, how many years?
13.
13 years of his life into this car. Let me tell you, folks, it shows. Every detail on the car is magnificent, and yet it looks like you drive it.
Yes.
I mean, I see a little bit of road rash on it. I see the fact that the doors have opened and closed. I see the fact that he uses it, and that to me makes it even better. So it isn't the car, it isn't just the builder, it is the relationship, it's the passion, and that's the word I use. So best in show. Thank you, Bill.